let me ask just a question, yeah, because we had a little debate. We had a little debate a few weeks ago and whatnot, and I told you that I think our midfield's better than yours, and you told me that it's not. You told me that your midfield's actually performed better, but factually, like I was saying before, your midfield has progressed the ball the worst in the league, right? At the same rate as West Ham, right? At the same rate as West Ham, whereas my midfield has progressed the ball the best in the league, right? When you talk about the underlying metrics, all the big chances created, we've created more chances than you. Our midfield has scored more goals than you. Caicedo's been better than any midfielder that you've got. So do you still think that your midfield is better than Chelsea's?
Can I give you the four names? Zubamendi. Okay. Let me just put that in. Zubamendi, Partey, Rice, Odegaard, Moreno. That's a 5 midfield.
Yep.
Chelsea is Lavia, Caicedo, Enzo, Palmer, and De Santos. These are going to be the 5 that goes
Andre Santos and Sugo.
I don't know who that is.
We're talking about this season. We're talking about this season. We're talking about this season. Sugo. We brought him from Sporting as cover for Caicedo, right? But I'm talking about the midfield that we already have, that we've seen this season. So you think
we're going towards next season now.
Hold on, Jess. From what you've seen from both teams, you still believe that your midfield is better than Chelsea?
Yeah.
What makes you say that? What makes you say that?
We had that conversation like 2 months ago. What's changed?
No, but I want to understand what makes you say that. What's your evidence?
I said, since we had this conversation, there has been 10 games in the Premier League, and I think Caicedo has been a monster in the last 10 games. Also, Enzo, now he's had a full season now at Chelsea. He has been good. So yes, the sample size maybe then was like, yeah, we need to wait and see how Chelsea in the season, are they going to be able to do it and get to the Champions League? In my opinion, Caicedo this season has been great as a DM. He's adding goals to his game as well as a DM. Enzo Fernandez has created a lot of chances, and also he's adding goals as well to his game. So Declan Rice as well, he's created chances, he's adding goals.
Yeah.
But there is a massive gap between Martin Odegaard and Cole Palmer. In Cole Palmer's bad season, he's having 21 GA. That is his bad season.
I want to hear Jess's take, Jess. Why do you still believe that your midfield is better than mine?
Because my whole reason, the way that I said it was not based on underlying metrics and tactical speak. I was just saying, from my perspective, when we play against you guys, this is what I said. I said, mano y mano, when we play against you guys, you never dominate us with that exact same midfield. You have Enzo, you have Caicedo, you have Cole Palmer, you have these players. Actually, we haven't played against Cole Palmer, I'll say that. But
the Emirates, you haven't.
No, I mean, we haven't. So I don't
think you played against him last year at the Bridge and this year at the Bridge. You didn't play against him at the Emirates. Well, then it's so argument is even stronger. You're saying that your midfield is not better than mine because in a one-off game you don't dominate.
Not in a one-off game. You have had these players for multiple seasons now, and every time we play against you guys, you don't dominate our midfield. Yes, and then you're asking me for my opinion, and you're not letting me speak.
So go on, talk.
Let me finish. Damn.
That's what Don does.
Let me talk. It's the same argument I used before. I just don't see this huge gap between you and us. I never said that we were way better or anything like that, but I would need to see your midfield dominate top midfields, at least in the league, more than once. You beat a drunk Liverpool, you know.
You're not watching us then. If you think that we haven't dominated multiple midfields this season, you're not watching enough Chelsea. For you to say, I don't think that your midfield is better than ours because when we play you don't dominate us. I'm sorry, that's a weak debate, right? You're not telling me anything in terms of anything. You're not telling me anything about chances created.
It's not based on underlying stats because
you have to base it on a factor, right? Because Terry asked me at the start of the season. I said to him, Chelsea's midfield is better than Arsenal's. He said, what metrics are you going to use to judge it by? I said, chances created. I said, goals scored. When I talk about the DMs, I spoke about all the defensive metrics, right? Caicedo is up there on all metrics, not just defensive metrics. He's up there in a lot of metrics, right? And like I've already said to you, Enzo in the league has outperformed Rice when you talk about the numbers, even in performances as well. Nina will tell you, Enzo's been very good this season, right? In part, worst season, he's still got over 20 GA in the league, while Odegaard's been stinking out the place, right? We have dominated a lot of teams in our midfield, right? It hasn't been consistently dominating you guys because you've got a good team as well. Like when the big teams play each other, it's a chess game most of the time. When we play you lot, a lot of the time it's a chess game. You know what I'm saying? But over the course of 38 games, my midfield factually has outperformed yours. So I don't understand how you can still be sitting there saying, I think my midfield is better than yours. I don't get it. I don't get it.
What is your reasoning for
It's not
why
anymore.
Hold
it's
on.
not an opinion anymore. It's a fact now.
Okay, if you think that your midfield is better, which you thought 2 months ago, fair enough. I still think my midfield is better than yours. I didn't say it was way better. I just said I still think it's better than yours. And well, then answer me this: why is it that Rice made team of the season and Caicedo didn't?
Come on, you really think? Do you really think?
I'm asking that question because you don't take into any of the factors outside of metrics that don't really say anything when you look at the eye test as well.
But Rice hasn't even been your best player, so I don't even know why he's in there. No, he hasn't. Not for me, he hasn't. Not for me, he hasn't. Well, he hasn't even been your best midfielder for me. He hasn't even been your best midfielder for me.
Your opinion is not the only thing that matters. You're not the only person that watches football.
Yeah, but hold on. How can you say that? How can you say that to me? How can you say that to me?
It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me. Well, your opinion doesn't matter to me. Hold on.
How can you talk to me about my opinion, try to shit on my opinion, but then try to tell me about...
I'm not trying to shit on your opinion.
Hold on, you don't let me finish.
Okay.
You don't let me finish. You're shitting on my opinion. You're saying, oh, it's not my opinion that matters, but then you're giving me the opinion of the mainstream media, right?
I said your opinion is not not listening. You're not listening because you're listening to respond and not to take in.
I know, I heard what you said. So Rice has been better than Caicedo then, is what you're saying?
I think Rice has been really good. I think he has
been better than Caicedo.
To me, he has been. Yeah. He has been.
Let me go.
These two are not comparable. These two are not comparable. One of them plays at the DM, one of them plays at an 8.
Like, yeah, but
you compare Caicedo.
Enzo's even been better than Rice.
No. You compare Caicedo to Thomas Partey. Caicedo has been better.
Rice is better than Caicedo.
Enzo Fernandez. You compare Enzo Fernandez this season to Declan Rice, right? Both of them are very close. It's for me. I can't say this one was miles better because if I say this one is better than this, Declan Rice has had second half of the season.
Hold on, even if
I think Enzo's better than Partey and Rice is better than Caicedo.
Even if you don't want to compare,
you're flipping it. Hold on. Sam, you're flipping it. You're flipping it. Sam, someone plays as a DM in Thomas Partey. You're flipping it to suit what you want to say. Caicedo plays in the same position as Thomas Partey, so we compare.
They're all midfielders. You can compare them.
No, but that's not the point.
Let me just say something before I go get a drink. Yeah. Even if you don't want to compare Caicedo to Rice, because Rice has mainly been playing as an 8, Enzo has been better than Rice this season, right? He has been better than Rice this season. When you talk about his influence in games, when you talk about even the GA in the Prem, he's beaten.
You say that Rice's influence hasn't been big?
I never said it hasn't been big, but I think Enzo's been better, right? For me, our top 3 performers.
Think your players are better.
I don't, Jess. No, I don't. Because Enzo last season.
When it comes to Arsenal,
hold on, Enzo last season. Hold on, Jess. Enzo last season wasn't good. As much as I like Enzo, he wasn't good, and I spoke about it a lot, right? And I mainly put that on Poch and how he was using it. Last season, I said Rice was one of your better players. Rice was very good last season, right? This season, he wasn't as good as what he was last year, and you know it yourself. So if you don't want to compare Rice and Caicedo because they play 2 different roles. For me, Enzo's been better than Rice. Enzo's been better than Rice. Enzo's been better than Rice for me. He's been better than Rice.
Exactly. The key point in that is for me. The problem is you take your opinion as the only opinion that matters. So when anybody gives you a different opinion, you don't absorb it because you're trying to.
No, not really. Because I just come back up with the metrics. I come back up with the metrics. You come back up with the.
I don't personally. I don't do a lot of like stats and data and all that kind of stuff because. The chart that you brought in the group chat the other day was like, where did the teams build up from, or how did they attack or something? And it was like Arsenal don't use the center, they use the right. And that was your reasoning for why your midfield is better. And I'm like, that's just tactical gobbledygook. That doesn't mean shit.
It's not tactical gobbledygook. It's
tactical gobbledygook. Like it just is like. Well, your team doesn't build up through the middle, so my midfield is better when you know that we're always trying to build up, trying to get the ball to Saka. So of course we're going to build up towards the right.
So you're not going for your midfield then. So how can you?
If you want to talk about metrics, just so you know, if you want to talk about metrics, 1 second, because you can't have your cake and eat it. If you want to talk about metrics, Gravenberch has better defensive metrics than Caicedo, and McAllister has better metrics than Enzo. Now what?
Gravenberch has no, he doesn't have better defensive metrics.
Go check it.
This is what I'm saying.
Go check it. Go check it. He has more tackles per game. Go check it.
Because that's not what he
did. Check it. I can just go check it right now, bro.
Yeah, now he is gonna convert to eye test, Jess. When it's
not about eye test. You talked about the metrics. Let me go read the metrics right now.
Go read the metrics.
Gravenberch has the metrics right now. Mo, in fact, let me
want to see the metrics.
Go read
Let me
it.
DM this
But
to you.
also,
Nina,
your
Nina,
eye test
Nina,
tells
come
you
in.
that Gravenberg
Nina,
was the best
you come
DM
in.
in the league this season. I don't
No,
think that
no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. A lot
he
of you know how many,
was. Gravenberg was the best
Liverpool
DM.
fans.
Yes, he
Do you know
was.
how many Liverpool fans have literally said in the
I
second
don't
half of the
care. Like,
season, he has tailed off. And even when I've watched him in the second half of
so
the season,
because
it wasn't as good as the first
oh
half of
my
the season.
gosh, your entire team took off 10 games in a season and played like shit.
But
So you
Caicedo
can't
wasn't a
just
still
problem.
only finished 5 points
fell
behind.
off.
So, Mo,
You
let me
can't
read a few
just
things.
Gravenberg
Mo, let
fell off.
What?
That doesn't
me read
mean
a few
he was
things,
the
yeah?
best. He wasn't the best.
Watch this, Mo. So Moises Caicedo is the only player to win the ball back 200 plus times and win 200 plus ground duels. And he has also made 114 tackles. But somehow Gravenberch has cleared him defensively. It's not adding up. Nina, let me go get a drink. Nina, let me go get a drink. Nina, you cook them now. You cook them now, man.
Is it
Tina's
an
like,
alcoholic
no.
one, Don?
This will be a fun debate next
An
year. That's all
alcoholic
I'm
drink. Get a vodka cranberry or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's putting some vodka in that for sure.
my only point with all of that was that we all define what's better by different things. I really don't do the deep dive tactical data behind. I don't do all that. But I'm also not saying that I don't think Caicedo and Enzo and Cole Palmer had a fantastic season. I think they're great players. I just think even at our worst, which we've been really, really poor this season, to me, I still feel like our midfield together, all of it works better than theirs on a consistent basis. And that could change next season. That could change next season. I'm not saying that it's stuck in time, but
So you don't think, I want to get Nina's opinion and the others, you don't think that Cole Palmer and Odegaard, we only talk about Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo, but there is a third part of that midfield, which is the creativity, and the third guy, which 33% of that midfield is consistent of that guy. Odegaard versus Cole Palmer. Odegaard has had 2 good seasons and a bad season this season. Cole Palmer has had a magnificent season, not only very good, magnificent season last season, and he has a bad season this season, but he still got 20 GA. That by itself, for me, like the scale is tipped towards Chelsea, because the 33 of that midfield is consistent of that playmaker who is he's way superior to Martin Odegaard. Like even Martin Odegaard's best season is not compared to Cole Palmer.
And when you go talk about chances created as well, Mo, yeah, like Enzo Fernandez and Palmer are literally top 10 in Europe. Yeah, not in the Prem, in Europe, right? In Europe, you know what I'm saying? It's mad out here, bro. This guy's creating chance after chance. He's crashing the box, bro. He's playing well. He's been a leader for us as well, because obviously Reece, when he's not playing, Enzo's the captain. You know what I mean? So I don't understand how Jess can say, oh, well, how can you really judge our midfield when most of our play comes through the right? Well, then why do you overrate your midfield so much if you're not using it? Yeah. Do you think if right now Man City had Rodri and all of these guys playing, they'll keep going to their right? No, they'll progress the ball through the midfield. We progress our football through the midfield because we have ballers in there, right? You don't like to go to the right, because you've got a GameCube playing as an 8, right? A GameCube that scored the other day, by the way, but had like 20 touches on the ball. How can you as an attacking midfielder have 20 touches on the ball? That's disgraceful. Yeah, that is absolutely disgraceful. And like I said, Jess,
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Declan. I'm talking about Declan.
Okay.
GameCube. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The quicker your manager moves him back to his actual position, his natural position as in a pivot in a 6, that's when you'll get the best out of it. The more you keep using him here, good luck. You ain't got no creative spark in that midfield. Your midfield is stale. Yeah. Your midfield is stale and you can't even see it, Jess. Right? You need to watch more teams. And you will see how bad your midfield is. Right? My eyes never lied to me. My eyes never lied to me. That is why you progress the ball the worst in the middle. You are Bukayo FC. You go to the right, go to the right. You go to the middle, nothing a go on in there. Yeah? Nothing a go on in there. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to compare your Rice as an attacking midfielder to Enzo Fernandez, who's a natural attacking midfielder. Yeah? You talk about the final third. Enzo can't defend apparently. This guy's won the ball back the most in the final third for Chelsea, even more than Declan Rice. You know what I'm saying? When I look at all these defensive metrics, Rice is nowhere to be seen. You know what I mean? Basmati is nowhere to be seen. But he scores 2 free kicks and all of a sudden he's world class. All of a sudden no one can be better than him. Yeah?